Hi everybody, it's Catalina, and today I want to show you some meal prep that I made for this week. So the first thing is that we had a lot of eggs this week, so I wanted to use up a lot of them. So the first thing I made was a quiche. Here is the quiche, and this is a very simple recipe and I love making it because it tastes really good when it's cold, and I take it with me to places. Makes a wonderful lunch, a wonderful dinner, wonderful breakfast, snack, just amazing. I like to use onions, mushrooms and spinach, and I saute all that a little bit, and then I whisk some eggs, and then I add some coconut milk, some spices. I added then the sauteed vegetables, and then I place that on a little bit of squash, and the squash works as a nice little base for the quiche. And then if you want, you can add a little bit of cheese over the top, and then I bake these for about an hour. It took a long time to bake because there are so many eggs here, and this is how I keep it. I store it in the fridge, and it's just really amazing. Since I'm saying I had a lot of eggs, so I also made some mayonnaise, and this is something I love to use when I make some fish cakes. Then I like adding some mayonnaise on the top, or I also like mixing it with just even on its own, or a little bit of lime, and then add it to salads. It's just a very versatile thing. And so I made these using 12 egg yolks, and I simply place the egg yolks in the blender with a little bit of lime juice or apple cider vinegar, some spices, and I blend it. And when it's all incorporated, I start adding some olive oil in a very thin little stream and consistent, and then I just keep doing it until this turns very thick. And this is how it looks. I love the beautiful color of it. Sometimes I like to add some turmeric or some chili, some spices like that, and it's just a really interesting recipe. I also happen to have quite a few berries in the fridge, so in the freezer, so I wanted to clean up some space. So I've been making lately this jam, and this one was made with strawberries, blackberries, and there were a few Cape gooseberries in there. So since they were frozen, I let them all thaw, and once they were at room temperature, I simply started cooking them. Once they reached the boil, I simmer them for about 40 to 45 minutes until they become really thick, and I added a little bit of homemade vanilla extract and a little bit of cinnamon, and that's it. You could add honey to these or something to make it sweeter like stevia, but I love the flavor of it as it is, and I feel that it's sweet enough. So I like eating these with some yogurt during the week. I just put a little bit, or if I have some with cheese as well, it's really good. So it's again a very versatile thing, and it lasts a very long time in the fridge. Here I have some sauce. This is like a meat sauce with tomatoes. I also had a lot of tomatoes. I was basically using up all the extra things I had in the fridge, and so I ended up making 3 of these jars, and this is a really great sauce that goes well with everything. I like having it with zucchini noodles, and it also tastes really good on its own. You can have it with a lot of roasted veggies, and this is very easy. Basically, I started by cooking the minced meat. This was beef, and then not all the way through, just until it's almost ready. And then apart, I made a tomato sauce just by blending a lot of tomatoes, very ripe tomatoes, and then I cooked them, and then I let them simmer for quite a while with some garlic as well. And once it's nice, a little bit thicker, I add the meat, and then I make a little paste with anchovies, just anchovies, and I mash them very well, and I add them to this. I added some chili as well, and then at the end I added some olives and some capers. So it's like inspired by a puttanesca sauce, which is a sauce I love, but this one has meat as well. And then just let it cook there for about, in total it took about an hour to be ready. And it's a really nice versatile thing. You can freeze it as well, and as you can see, I like keeping things in glass jars. I like that. And here, since I made the mayonnaise and I had a lot of egg whites, then I made some macaroons, and these ones are so delicious. This is how they look, and basically they are made with egg whites. They are super simple to make. It really takes about 5 minutes to make them, and so you just need some egg whites, and you whisk them a little bit. You add a little bit of vanilla extract, a little pinch of salt, and then some sweetener of your choice. You mix it all until it's frothy, and then you add some desiccated coconut, and I always go for unsweetened coconut flakes, and then that's it. You make the mixture of it until it's like a nice balance of wetness and the coconut flakes, and then you make the little balls, place them in the oven and bake them for 20 minutes. And then I like placing them in this container with the lid. Also an airtight container is really great, and they make such a lovely little snack. It's really filling, and I love things with coconut, so this is really, really nice. There were a lot more of those last night, but we ate quite a few. Actually, Jonathan ate quite a few.
No, I didn't.
Okay, and lastly I have here this tomato soup, and this was just really amazing, and it's the easiest soup to make in the world. So again, since there were a ton of tomatoes, all I did was place them in a baking dish with a lot of garlic cloves, some olive oil over the top, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and then you just roast them until they are like ready to eat like that. And then I placed all of that with all the oil in the blender, and then at the end I added some bone broth, and that's it. It's just amazing. And then of course you can add things like basil. I did add some basil to this when I was baking the tomatoes, and little salt, basically adjust the taste of it, but that's pretty much it. It's so simple and it's so delicious and so creamy, and you can see that it's really thick because of the bone broth. And so these ones, we ended up with 3.5 jars of this. And that's basically all the meal prep that I made for this week. As you know, I really love talking about it and prepping my food in advance because it makes life so much easier. So today and for the next few days, I don't really have to be thinking about what to cook, and I can use my time for other things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gave you some good ideas. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye.